can check it out later. So thank you everyone for being here this morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's a holiday Friday. So I really appreciate everyone to being here. So I'm Sofia Bahana. I'm the project manager of the Minority Business Development Agency. This is a program that supports minority-owned businesses in certain areas dedicated to access to contracts, capital, and markets. So if any one of you wants to talk to me about it and need support for your business, please just reach out to me. You should have my email, that since I want the one that sends all the type of invitations. So thank you everyone, and I have the pleasure to introduce this morning to Carrie Vender from the Small Business Office. So Carrie, you're on mute, Carrie.
Hi, I'm so sorry. My name is Carrie Vender. I'm the small business liaison for the city of Albuquerque. So it's literally my only job in life to find resources for small businesses in Albuquerque. And I take phone calls and emails all day long from small businesses needing support. So that is what I do. I'll put my email address in the chat so that anybody can reach out and talk to me. And the number one question we get asked in the small business office is, how do I get money for my business? So that's why we're here today. Oh, and sorry, and I have the pleasure of introducing Shelley Brown with the Small Business Administration.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I'm hoping you can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for having us, and good morning, everybody. As mentioned, I am Shelley Brown with the Small Business Administration here in Albuquerque. This is my contact information. I am the lender relations specialist in New Mexico. I am the only lender relations specialist in New Mexico, and you can reach me directly at 248-8228. And my email is Shelley with the EY .brown@sba.gov. And there is my lovely pre-COVID picture. I no longer look like that. But an overview of SBA, the U.S. Small Business Administration helps Americans start, build, and grow businesses. The SBA was created in 1953 as an independent agency of the federal government to aid, counsel, assist, and protect the interests of small business concerns, to preserve free, competitive enterprise and maintain the strength of the overall economy of our nation. And SBA is the only cabinet level federal agency fully dedicated to small businesses. We are broken up in, we like to call it the 3 C's. We provide counseling, capital, which we're here today to talk about, contracting, expertise as the nation's only go-to resource, and the voice of small businesses, which we really saw that during the COVID pandemic. So the SBA works to ignite change and spark action so small businesses can confidently start, grow, expand, and recover. We could not do our jobs without the partners, our resource partner network. These are approved and funded by the SBA. There's over 1,400 partner offices nationwide. And you can find a local resource partner near you at sba.gov/local assistance. But to dig deeper, in the New Mexico District Office, we work very closely with our resource partners, which is the Small Business Development Center. They can assist you in helping you grow, look at your financials, figure out where you may be bleeding money out of your business, how to get you credit ready. All of our counselors, all of our partners can help you do that. But the Small Business Development Center, their website is nmsbdc.org. And then we have SCORE. It generally started with volunteer retirees, but now it's a full range of individuals. They still do volunteer, and they've owned businesses, sold businesses. They try to match you with somebody within your same business concern that is familiar with your type of business, and that is score.org. And then we have the Women's Business Center, which is, there's 6 locations throughout New Mexico, and that's WEST, WESST, WESST.org. And then we have VBOC, the Veteran Business Outreach Center. So if you're a veteran ready to own a business or want to get into federal contracting, you can reach out to the VBOC, which is nmvboc.org. So all of our partners, we all work together. We have quarterly meetings to discuss what they are doing, what kind of trainings they're providing. They always have ongoing trainings, all 4 of them, to help you assist and grow. New Mexico District Office, this is our direct line, the 248-8225. Again, mine was 8228. If you leave a voicemail on this line, generally it would be me to pick up that voicemail and return your phone call. Our email address, our website address is www.sba.gov/NM, and you can find information about things that are going on in New Mexico. We have postings from our Twitter as well as any new announcements coming out. You can reach us directly at New Mexico _ you can't really see that underscore, but _DO, and that's for district office, at sba.gov. So why are we here today? We're talking about access to capital and how you can obtain that to help you grow your business. So what is an SBA loan? A lot of folks think that SBA lends that money directly. We do have some direct loans, but that's generally reserved for the disaster loans, which I'm just going to touch on a little bit near the end. But if you need a business loan to start or grow or expand your business, an SBA loan may be the loan for you. The SBA works with approved lenders to offer microloans and SBA-backed loans with competitive terms, lower down payments, flexible overhead, and counseling and education. The SBA loan is a commercial loan from a lender that is guaranteed by the U.S. Small Business Administration. You still would need to submit the required documents to the lender, which is generally a personal background, resumes, business plan, personal credit report, personal credit report, business credit report, income financial statements, what you're going to use as collateral, and any legal documents. The lender will work with you. If you are not prepared to have these documents, that's when you'd move back to one of our counselors that can assist you with that. Again, SBA does not lend that money directly, it's guaranteed. So the program operates through private sector lenders that participate in the SBA loan program. The loans are for small businesses that are not able to obtain credit elsewhere. But with an SBA loan and most any business loan, you will still be required to have the 5 C's, which I'm going to touch a little bit on. And how can an SBA backed loan help you? You can launch, grow, or repair or start a startup business. You can start or purchase a small business. You can have access to a revolving credit or working capital for day-to-day expenses. And I honestly think that almost every small businesses need to have a business line of credit, because we saw that really when the pandemic hit, and there were just a lot of businesses that were not prepared and did not have the capital to keep running, and they still had to pay their bills. So a line of credit during that time could have really saved them. So a line of credit, I really recommend that most businesses have one. Also, a SBA-backed loan can help you purchase, renovate, or expand your facility. You could purchase inventory, equipment, machinery. You could purchase land or real estate. And then we also have an exporting loan as well. The SBA 7A loan, that is our flagship loan program. It's an all-purpose loan that can be used to purchase real estate, equipment, inventory, or even working capital. The loans are up to $5 million. Terms can be up to 25 years for real estate, and the term can be 5 to 10 years for equipment or working capital. There are competitive loan terms. So if a lender is unable to make that loan unconventionally, because let's say their working capital maybe only be 5 years, however, you may need a longer term, that's when a lender would choose to use SBA. And again, there is a term loan or revolving line of credit. You do work with the lender to determine the interest rates, but SBA does cap those. We have a SBA maximum. Then we have the 504 program. The 504 program is an economic development program. It provides long-term fixed rate for fixed rate assets. It's financing to small businesses to acquire commercial real estate or heavy machinery and equipment. The interest rates are low and the maturity up to 25 years, depending on the use of funds. What's attractive about this loan, it's a 50-40-10 loan. So you have a first lien at 50% loan to value, and that is a lender loan that's not backed by SBA. Lenders like that loan because they're in a 50% equity position. And then a CDC, a certified development company, will make a second lien for at 40%, and which makes the buyer come in with only 10%. What's attractive about this is perhaps on another commercial real estate loan, a lender may require more than 10% injection to make that loan. But by using the 504 loan product, you're able to come in with 10%. However, I will mention that you need to come in with 15% if the business is less than 2 years old or if it's a special use property. Then we have our microloan program. These are mission-based lenders and nonprofits. So microloans are up to $50,000. Interest rates are negotiated by the lender. Terms up to 6 years for working capital, supplies, machinery, equipment, and possible refinance of debt. So what is a microloan? A microloan is typically offered to businesses with smaller capital needs, usually $50,000. The advantages of a microloan, typically for microloan lenders, they can make more flexible credit requirements. Their credit score limits may be a lot lower. They pay more attention to character of the business owner. They work closely with the borrowers and may provide technical help and advice to the borrowers. So they work closely with the borrowers as when they make that loan and they see that payments are struggling to come in, they will make a phone call, find out what's going on with your business and how you can turn around and correct that. SBA's micro loan program relies on community-based organizations to provide small businesses to people who want to start or grow their small businesses. Again, the maximum loan on that is $50,000. However, the average loan size is $13,000. What's attractive about this is that there may be a lot of lenders that $13,000, they may not have the staff to work on loans of that size. So a micro loan may be the way to go. And again, they can be used, as I mentioned before, working capital, inventory, supplies, but not for real estate or repay existing loans. Our two micro lenders in New Mexico is West, our Women's Business Center. Again, that's west.org, and the Loan Fund, and that's loanfund.org. Then we have our Community Advantage Lender. Our Community Advantage Lender is a 7A lender. It's our flagship lender. However, their criteria is a little less as far as like the credit scoring. The interest rates are negotiated by the lender and the terms are based on the use of funds. These loans have a maximum of $350,000. Our New Mexico Community Advantage Lender is DreamSpring, formerly known as Accion, and they are www.dreamspring.org. So they make the loan and they send it to SBA and advise us that they've made an SBA loan. So what do we need to do to increase our chances of securing a loan, and what lenders need to know? You'll need your business plan, your expense sheets, your financial statements, and financial projections. When I mentioned the 5 C's of credit, that you would still need those, every lender will still look at the character, your cash flow, collateral, capitalizations, and the condition. And this is a brief overview of what those things are. So character is your personal reputation and integrity, also your credit score, your cash flow, how your business is able to pay those bills, in your financial statements. The collateral is something of value that you own or will purchase with the loan funds. Capitalization is your business capital, your business net worth, so your assets minus your liabilities. And the conditions on which the lender will approve the loan, which is the rate and the term. So all lenders generally will look at the 5 C's of credit. But one of the main one, I'm not going to go into all 5, but one of the main one is under character, which is, as I mentioned, your personal credit score. So if you're a startup business, the lender will still run your credit score to see how you've paid your bills in the past and what your FICO credit score is. So your largest credit reporting agencies is Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So before you even approach a lender, you should know where your credit standing is, and you can obtain a free credit report every year. Somebody told me since COVID, you can get it monthly. I've not checked that out, but I'm just putting that out there. But it's at www.annualcreditreport.com. You should always start by reviewing your credit first to know where your credit condition is before you approach a lender, because you want to be as prepared as you can be. The basic of your loan request when you meet with the lender: how much money do you need? I have requests a lot of times they're like, I don't know, I'll just have the lender tell me. Generally, a lender does not want to hear that. They want to know what you intend to use the funds for. If you intend it for working capital, what will that be? Will it be to pay your rent for a few months before your contracts start coming in? Is it to pay staff? Is it to do advertising? What is it going to be used for? Are you going to be buying real estate or equipment? And then, as I mentioned, the only direct loans that we do, SBA does, is the disaster loan. We saw that with the pandemic. SBA jumped in and did the economic injury disaster loan, where businesses were really affected by the pandemic. So SBA stepped in, since normally the disaster loans are usually located in one area where a hurricane occurred, let's say, or fires occurred. But in this case, it was across the United States, and it was a huge overtaking to extend all that credit throughout the United States. But disasters happened. An estimated 25% of businesses don't reopen after a major disaster. I'm going to guess that after the pandemic, it could be higher than that. However, a lot of business did start and create during that time. So you can protect yourself by up-to-date action plan, and SBA has that on our website to help you prepare for that. With the disaster loans, we provide billions of dollars in low-interest, long-term disaster loans to help businesses, homeowners, and renters recovered from a declared disaster. So FEMA has to declare that disaster. We've had quite a few here with the droughts, with the fires, and of course with the pandemic. So you can, it will help you with real estate, with personal property, economic injury, which we just saw, machinery and equipment, inventory, and then there is a disaster loan for active duty military. To stay connected with us, SBA does have a newsletter. You can update it with sba.gov/updates. Anytime that we have any updates, you can receive an email on that. I'm not a Twitter follower or a Twitter handler, but SBA is. However, you don't have to be. A lot of times I will just Google Twitter, SBA New Mexico, and I will see anything that we posted. But if you are a Twitter follower, you can follow it on twitter.com/SBA, and then there's an underscore there, _New Mexico. And again, our general email, newmexico_@sba.gov, our direct line, and then our website. And that will be it. Are we taking questions after?
Yeah, if somebody have a question for Shelly, just
Okay.
feel free.
Okay.
Put it in the chat or on the Q&A section. Okay. I guess there's no questions.
Okay. Okay, good.
But
Well,
yeah,
thank
if the
you.
questions coming up, I will definitely let you know, Shelly. Thank you so much.
Okay, do you want me, I can put my information in the chat. Will everybody be able to see it if I do?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'll do that then. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Shelly. So our next presenter is Alex Horton with One Hope CDFI. So Alex, take it away.
Awesome, great. Well, thank you, Shelly. That was super informative. I was over here taking down notes and things like that. So I even got something out of it. I'm Alex Horton. I'm the founder and executive director of the International District Community Development Corporation, but also a managing board member for One Hope, OFI, as we call it, OFI, One Hope Financial Institution. And I hope I can share my screen. Our focus is kind of working on that starter loan, right? Where entrepreneurs are first getting in, maybe they don't have the credit, they don't have all of the boxes checked. We kind of want to be that first loan, that kind of stepping stone loan, so that they can get into the SBA and get into a banking institution and get those higher amounts of capital. So typically we work with minority entrepreneurs that focus where we can focus on that first kind of startup Kickstarter loan, whether it's $2,000 for their mixing machine or their $5,000 equipment, right? Something that they need small for their business to see if it's even just viable, right? Sometimes in that startup stage, you don't have that necessarily capital just to see about getting it started. So what we like to do is tie in technical assistance with giving them this access to that small amounts of capital and hopefully be able to get them that track record. So we hear the same thing where it's like, well, I don't know what the bank needs from me, or I don't know this, but haven't even checked their credit score, right? So we want to kind of walk them through walk our entrepreneurs, the businesses and consumers that we work with on just the process to getting into being bankable, right? So a lot of our population is maybe unbanked or just don't really have that strong relationship with a banking institution or a lending institution. So our key focus is starting right there. So I would say our competitors are more of the payday lenders, right? A lot of times our consumers will go to a payday lender versus even going to their bank, right? So we want to be able to have that conversation of like, why are the consumers actually going to the payday lending? And with a lot of legislation that have changed, we've seen a significant thing of payday lending get closed. And so now there's also even now a bigger niche of like, hey, how can we actually get you that needed capital for a low interest rate? Our interest rates are fixed that we have 5% loans that we partner with Nucinda through Co-op Capital to do. So again, our goal is not to say this is a whole different way from how the banking industry goes. It's like, how can we help get that starter where it's not a no, it's a, hey, maybe it's a $500 credit builder loan, or maybe it is oh, I need to, my car's in the shop, right? So here's the $1,000, right? That's not a predatory. And then then we get to work with that individual on what their financial plans and goals are and see how we can help them get to that next phase. So we look at we just got started, right? We've been now officially, we'll probably make our first loans here next month. The group is made up of 4 individuals, Mr. Ken Carson, who had a lot of banking expertise, Charles Ashley, Everett Hill, and myself. I run one of those programs here for our organization. So we kind of helped get this piece kicked off as kind of a standalone. And one thing that we did see is that providing that technical assistance with the entrepreneur or the individual. So what we've also noticed is that, people want to get lending on their business and then the personal financial structure is not there, right? Or that finance is not even there. So we start with your personal finances, work with them on that technical side, and then work on the business side, right? As we know, small businesses, everything is just commingled into one thing. So even just being able to separate those two pieces out is already just kind of a process. So those are kind of the services that we provide at OFI. And yes, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the information. And if you can please put your information in the chat so everyone have your contact. So if anyone have question for Alex, please just put it in the chat or in the Q&A section. So thank you, Alex, again. So now our next presenter is Lori Roach with Main Bank. Thank you, Lori, for being here.
Absolutely happy to be here. I was going to talk a little more in detail about SBA 504 loans, and that would be probably, Alex was more touching, I think, on, young companies getting started. And in my opinion, a 504 loan, SBA 504 is more, maybe you've been in business a couple of years, 2 years, maybe 5 years, and you've been paying rent. And you're like, oh, I don't know, I pay rent. And like my mom would say, all you have to show for that is a stack of paid receipts after a certain amount of time. And so the SBA 504 program is really a great opportunity for businesses to own their own building rather than paying rent. So the program is specifically for owner occupied. So for it's not for investment. It's for you're running your own business and you want to own your building. So just Shelley touched on a couple of things. I want to go just a teeny bit, a little more explanation. So Shelley talked about a CDC. So what that means, it's a certified development company, and the CDCs work as a liaison between the bank and SBA and you, the business owner. So it's really a fabulous program because there's 2 local CDCs. One is called ELCDC, Enchantment Land Certified Development Company, and the other is Capital CDC. And they're out of Texas, but they do business locally. Actually, I'm even on their board and on their loan committee. So it's just a wonderful program. What happens is and Shelley also touched on this. So the thing to kind of keep in your mind is you would, let's say you have your building, let's say it costs $300,000. The seller, is asking $300,000. So what you would need is, if you've been in business for a while and it's not a specialty, it's not a bowling alley or a car wash or something like that, you would need 10% cash in. So that's only $30,000. And I know it's like, oh, that's a lot of money, but once maybe each month as your business is starting to grow, set aside a little bit. And then once 2 years go by, 3, 4, 5, you may say, hey, I've accumulated some capital and I'd like to go ahead and own my building. So the borrower puts in 10%, the bank does a loan that would be 50%, and then you actually have a second loan from SBA, which is 40%. So you end up, and this is really a lot of minutia, but at the end of the day, you end up with 2 loans, one where you pay the bank and one where you pay SBA. The SBA side of the deal is so great because the rates are fixed. And right now they're right around, I'm going to say 6.25, which is really good because bank loans are at like around 9 right now. And so let's say you were closing tomorrow, your rate would be locked for 25 years or 20, depending on the term of your loan. You never have to refinance that part. And the bank loan as well for Main Bank, our term is also 20 years. And our rates aren't fixed. Banks don't typically fix their rates for longer than usually 5 years. But having that 40% loan out there is just so great. It's just really a wonderful program. Some of the types of businesses that I've worked with are daycares, bakeries, pharmacy, breweries, auto body repair shop, funeral homes, art galleries, dental offices, doctor offices. So just a variety of manufacturing companies. So really just a variety of different types of businesses. There are some that are excluded, but once you start talking usually you can talk to the bank first and find out if they participate in the SBA 504 program. And if they do, right away, the first thing they'll do is work with you to make sure your type of business is eligible under the program. Anyway, that's kind of just what I had to present for today. So just, if anybody has any questions, Sonia has my contact info. Sorry, I'm not very techie here. And I also sent Sonia a flyer that maybe she can send out to the participants, that you'd have a little bit of information at hand in the event you're interested in the SBA 504 program.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. There is a question on the chat. What is the minimum FICO score required for the 504 loan?
Usually, and for it kind of is going to vary by bank. For us, for main bank, we know if you're somewhere in the around, I would say at least above 650, that would be good. If you're in the 700s, that's even better. So if you're looking at one of these loans down the road, like as Shelley touched on, really work on having your credit in really good shape. The SBA, they're very inquisitive. So one that I'm working on right now, they had a bankruptcy 20 years ago, and the SBA asked about it, or Capital CDC asked about it, and they just had to say, well, here's what happened. So in other words, just try to keep your credit as perfect. It didn't hurt the deal at all. They just had to explain. So just try to keep your credit really in good shape. That's a really great place to start.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So our next presenter is Patrick Dixon with NCRC. Thank you, Patrick, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I do have a few slides, so if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead and share. Yeah.
Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Patrick Dixon, and I'm an underwriter here at NCRC Community Development Fund, and I'm going to walk you through our small business lending program. So a little bit of background about who we are and who we serve. So NCRC Community Development Fund, or NCRC CDF for short, we're a U.S. Treasury certified community development financial institution, or CDFI for short. Our mission is to help bridge the racial wealth gap divide by supporting entrepreneurship in America's underserved communities. So the way that we do that is that we provide access to capital and also business support to Black, Latino, and low to moderate income entrepreneurs nationwide. So to go over what businesses are eligible for our services, we serve all business entities. So you don't have to fit in our focus areas, which are LMI, Black, Latino, and LGBTQ plus owned firms. But if you have a company and you would like a loan, we're able to work with you. So we do lend to nonprofits and for-profit businesses, and this includes startups and well-established entities. Businesses must be based in the U.S. They may be based or located in any U.S. state or territory. We lend to U.S. citizens or residents of any U.S. state or territory as long as they're over the age of 18. And we do have experience working with justice-impacted entrepreneurs. So if there's any prior convictions that may disqualify you from other loans, we're able to work with you. For industries, we aren't exclusive to any specific industry, but we do have unique expertise working with businesses in the transportation, construction, professional services, personal care, and also restaurant industries. Right now, we don't lend to firearm, tobacco, or illegal activities, or any other activities that goes against our public purpose. Oh, and just to point on this, we do lend to places that sell alcohol, or tobacco is just not the focus of the company there. So for our business requirements, we do have a minimum FICO score of 580. There is no small business credit score maximum or SSBS score maximum. Applicants must be registered and in good standing with their Secretary of State and have no bankruptcies within the past year. If you have a bankruptcy, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you're okay there. We can work with you. And also for loans associated with government programs. And this is a case-by-case thing, but they would be, subject to the additional eligibility guidelines for whatever program that may be. But again, that's a case-to-case basis, and it only occurs for specific circumstances. So how much do we lend? We provide loans from $5,000 to 500,000. So the micro loans that we provide are from the $5,000 to $50,000 range. And our small business loans are from the $50,000 range to $500,000 range. So our typical loan terms are for our terms, we're able to go up to 7 years, and that depends on the amount of the loan. So for instance, if it's a $20,000 loan, we may be able to work with you to, set the term for 24 to 36 months. Or if it's, a $500,000 loan, we can go up to 7 years, sorry. For interest rates, we charge prime plus 2%. So the current prime rate is 8.25%. So our current interest rate is 10.25%. And that is the max that we charge at the moment. For fees, we do have an underwriting fee between 1.5% and also 5%, but this depends on the amount of the loan. For collateral, we look to secure our loans with business assets. And this could be, accounts receivable, inventory, or any other assets that the business may have. In some cases, we are able to work with personal assets, but we will never take into consideration the primary residence of a business owner. We do require a personal guarantee for all of our loans, and this personal guarantee needs to come from each firm owner with 20% or greater ownership interest in the firm. We do offer business training programs, technical assistance programs. So our courses are designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, and it's for you if you're in the startup stage or the established company stage. These are our launch and growth academies. They're both with the goal to help you take your business to the next level. It's just the different stages that we divide these classes by. So our Launch Academy is for startups, and it focuses on the 17 foundational steps of business building. So in this course, you'll go over things such as, creating your business plan, gathering the licenses that you need to operate, building your lead generation and your customer base. And for the Growth Academy, as if you already have an established record and you're looking to actually scale your company. So maybe you're looking to, add on an extra store somewhere, or, you're just looking to take your business to the next level. In that course, we go over fundraising, finance, marketing and branding, operations, and also, perfecting your pitch so that you can pitch to lenders, fundraisers, investors, banks, things like that. To close out, I wanted to go over some business highlights of some of the companies that we lend it to. So one is based in Atlanta. They are Baya Salon Studios, and it's sort of a WeWork of places where stylists, barbers, manicurists, most of whom may not be able to, work out of their own shop somewhere. This place provided them a place to, actually have a customer base. So during the pandemic, their capacity was knocked down from 90% to 45% capacity. But with a $500,000 loan from us, they were able to actually grow their business. They had 2 locations in the beginning. They were able to, start working on a 3rd and a 4th location, and they are hoping to have their 5th location up and running within the next 2 years. And I also want to highlight a company called Double Horse Bistro, which is a little bit outside of Boston. It was the owner there, Trump. She was an actual employee at the bistro, and she ended up buying the company after working there for a few years. But during the COVID pandemic, their sales dropped to 70% below their normal sales, and because they didn't have, capability to work with delivery or takeout companies, they needed, the extra funding to actually get those operations up and running. So, with a loan from NCRC CDF, we were able to help her, boost her sales and get those sales back up to around 80% of what they were before the pandemic. But those are just a few stories of the companies that we work with. Thank you for your time. If you would like to contact me, feel free to, go to our website at communitydevelopmentfund.org. And I also will leave my contact information in the chat. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for all the information. Yes, if you can, we will share all the slides of the presenters after within this day, so you can have that. So our next presenter is Julia Sheldon from Bank of the West. Thank you, Julia, for being here. Julia, you have to unmute yourself. Julia is the one that is calling since she is not able to use Zoom. Julia, can you hear us? Okay, so let's see if Julia will be able to speak later. So we can continue with Martin Cordova. Thank you, Martin, with Prestamos CDFI. Thank you, Martin, for being here.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, my name is Martin Cordova. I'm with Prestamos CDFI. Just like Patrick, our institution is a community development financial institution. We love helping startups and existing businesses develop their business through access to capital. We help everybody, regardless of their background and where they come from. One of the things that our products and services offer is that we lend in the New Mexico market, 100,000 and above. And most of the requirements are pretty similar to Patrick's. Most of the terms that we can do on some of the loans are going to be 5 years. Our current rates are 9 to 13%. We do have no prepayment penalties, so that's a good thing. So later down the road, if you want to refinance, that's not going to be a penalty on that. So it's great for startups that want to we take that risk and then transfer you over to our banking partners. One of the things the main three things that we look for, and I think most of everybody here is going to be on the same page, is that we look for cash flow, credit, and collateral. Cash flow, as long as I can prove that you can make the payments on that debt, we should be fine. Credit, as long as you don't have any bankruptcies, collections, or collateral or delinquencies, we should be fine. What we're trying to prove is that you are a responsible borrower, and it's very difficult sometimes to prove that you're responsible when you have 20, 30 collections open. So we're always trying to prove that you are a responsible borrower and that we can have your debt repaid. And lastly, it would be collateral. Usually they like to see a 1.25, and we can use anything from equipment, vehicles, home equity, or commercial real estate if available, especially for those larger loans that are over 100,000. Like I mentioned earlier, we can help anybody from startups to existings. The requirements would be a little bit different for startups. They'll ask you for business plan and projections for 2 years. And that's going to be crucial because there is no history on your business. So they're going to rely heavily on those two things. Then you're going to have a personal guarantee on all the loans. And very similar, again, I'm going to piggyback on Patrick on the eligible uses of funds. We are a community-friendly institution, so everything has to be pro-community. So we can do working capital if you're trying to finance a business, if you're trying to refinance an existing note. We can do equipment. We can cover all those. Some of the things that we cannot do is guns, weapons, armament. We cannot fund political campaigns, down payments, delinquency taxes, or anything that should be considered like passive income. You have to be working the business. And if you are buying property, you have to be working out of it at least 51%. Liquor stores and smoke shops, not allowed, or gambling. So if you're trying to open casinos, we cannot do that. Again, always think of the community and how can this improve our communities. If you guys have any specific questions, you guys can always send me an email or give me a call. I'm open all the time. I'll put my information in the chat. Other than that, it varies case by case, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody who has a specific question or concern.
Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you for the presentation. I think we lost, I don't know what is happening with Julia, but hopefully we can anyway share her contact, and you have one more option to reach out. So we will share, this is being recording. We will upload this on our YouTube channel. And then we also will share all the slides of the presenters. I have a quick question. So I know Alex mentioned some kind of like program or help to kind of like guide small businesses. I'm wondering if like Martin or Patrick's or Lori kind of like have some programming that work with the small businesses to get them ready, right? To be able to make the loan, like prepare them, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll chime in on this right away. So I'm like involved in a lot of different things, and one of them is West. So West does have similar programs to, I believe, what Patrick or Alex talked about. And so they have classes like to help with setting up your business plan and get your financial records in order and taking care of them. And you can Google or look up west.org and find all the information they have, but it's another really great program out there. In addition to doing microloans, they do have several training programs.
Great, thank you, Lori. Anyone else can? Oh, Shelly. Go ahead, Shelly.
Thank you. Yes, West also has a beginner loan program as well to help fix your credit or get you started if you have no credit. So they have a small program with that, and as you pay that back, then they increase that loan amount and get you ready for that micro loan, that larger loan amount. So as Lori mentioned, they do help with training. They help to help you grow your business, find your weaknesses, and then help you get credit ready. So with their starter, I'll call it a starter program for lack of a better word.
Great. Thank you, Shelly. So I know Michael, one of the attendees, Michael Candelaria, wants to kind of guidance in business and procuring funds by helping my business be presentable. Yes, so this kind of program will help him. So, and Martin, do you have something from Prestamos? Prestamos, I think also I've heard that have some kind of programming too.
Yeah, we have our coaching or advisors that can help you get everything ready for the loan. And one of the things that we do as well is that we work hand in hand with the business advisors. So we know already what we should do for the specific business. We give them the guidance or the points on, okay, you should cover this experience. You should have this on your financials or on your projections. So it's a collaboration between underwriting and the coaches to make sure we're able to present the best package possible, because we still have to convince our senior underwriter, our loan committee, that you're still a viable or a good package or business to fund.
Okay, great, thank you. And I also have a question for you, Martin. This says, your website states that businesses must be operating for 24 months. However, you stated that a startup can apply. Can you please clarify on that?
Yeah, so that just depends on the type of programs that we're applying for. So we have been funding startups as well. Like I mentioned, you just need a business plan, projections, and in your case, it would be that's 3 years of taxes. So it would be 20, 21, and 22 with an ID for all business owners and spouses if they have one.
Okay, great. Great, thank you, Martin, for that. So anyone else can be close comments or Shelly?
Again, as I mentioned, our resource partners, I failed to mention that their services, because they are funded by the US government, there is no cost for them to help counsel or mentor you and get you moving. They may charge a small fee if they have training, especially if it's on-site training, but with the Zoom training, they're generally free. So you shouldn't have to pay for those services that can be provided to you at no cost.
Okay. That's great. Great to know. So, well,
I guess, oh, sorry, I guess I'll add one more thing too. Shelley touched on the community advantage loan that is available through DreamSpring. And just to let you know, Capital CDC also is has that program available. So, and those loans are up to 350,000. So if someone wants a resource in addition to DreamSpring, Capital CDC, and if someone's interested, they can contact me and I'll send them in the right direction. Okay.
okay, that's great. Thank you, Lori, for that. Okay, so anyone else have close comments or any helpful information for our small businesses? Oh, I have two questions. Okay. Are any loan fees paid for upfront or taken out of the loan? I'm not sure to who is that question.
So I think that would vary by institution. So for example, for us, it's the application fee, which it would be at 3%. And then any third-party fees will come out of the borrower's expense. Technically, that will be also considered their capital injection. Or you can actually include some of the fees into the loan, but it would just depend by institution at this point.
Okay, great, thank you. And then it says for a small speedy amount of an existing business, a micro through West will be best. Then I guess the micro loan. What do you guys think for a small speedy amount says in there in the question?
A microloan is a good option. And again, we have DreamSpring and the loan fund. Those two have funding from different sources. So they'll place it where they need, whether it's SBA backed or if the money's come from somewhere else. But they are, they're local, they understand the market, and they work with businesses. So West, excuse me, I said DreamSpring, but it's West and the loan fund are SBA micro lenders. DreamSpring is also a micro lender, just not an SBA micro lender. They're a community advantage lender.
Yeah, and I would actually like to add on to that. Something that we do here at NCRC CDF is for loans under $35,000, we only require the business owner to send in their previous 3 months business bank statements, their previous 3 months of personal bank statements, their articles of incorporation, and also a government issued ID. So once they send those in along with a credit check, they're eligible to receive that funding. So it's a much abbreviated required documents list. So that speeds up underwriting a lot. So, you know, depending on how quickly they're looking to access the funds, you know, a loan under 35,000 may be a great option for them.
Great, thank you. Thank you for that. And we have another question in the chat. It says, for the 504 loan, landscaping and irrigation companies qualify?
Yes, the as long as it's an owner occupied property, usually a building's on the property, yes, that type of business would it be eligible. And Shelley, if I'm wrong, let me know.
No, you are correct.
Okay.
Great, great. Okay. So it seems like we have interaction there. So really good questions. Thank you. We finish on time, so we give back a couple minutes or a minute maybe. So thank you so much all for being here, taking your precious time this morning. So hopefully we can, you know, do more of these events because it's really valuable information to our businesses. Carrie, you wanna say something?
I just wanted to say, someone asked if we were going to send out a list of the participants or the panelists, and we will do that. And then I actually, the previous times we've done this panel, I have sent the recording and slides out to people for the next 6 months, and it continues to be informative. So thank you, everybody. It won't end today. Like, this information will be used for the next 6 months, and we try to do this twice a year at least. So that we can keep getting this information out. Thank you.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Great presentations, and have a great day and great holiday weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.